Hello guys, welcome to my channel. Let's learn together. If you are following along with my series of Server 2022, in the last video I have shown you guys how to map a restricted network drive along with the home folder and roaming profile, and we have tested it if you have seen the last video. So here I come up with a new lab and lesson. So in this video I'm going to show you how to install an ISS role. That's basically for the web server hosting on servers, especially Microsoft servers. And then I'm going to show you how I'll install the load balancer role, and we will test the website on it, like we'll fail over and then we'll check whether the clients are able to access the website or not. So if you are following along with my series, I always come up with a lab. So just like my previous lab, in this lab I've added one more additional member server. So right now I'm having one domain controller, which is installed with the DNS feature, and two member servers simply joined to domain, and two client computers that are joined to domain. So that's the basic infrastructure of this lab. So let's begin with installing the web services roles. So here I am on my domain controller. Let me show you my infrastructure. If I go to users and computers, there you can see I have two clients and two member servers. These are the servers installed with Server 2022 operating system, and the clients are Windows 10 based. And this is my domain controller. So this member server is by the name RDS. I have another member server, it's a second member server, and then I have two client computers. So we will install these IIS roles on these two member servers. So simply click on Server Manager. We'll go to Manage, Add Roles and Features. So there we go. Next. Yes, role based. Next. Select the member server. Next. Here we can see the web server IIS role. Select it, and you will prompt for additional features. Just simply click Add Features, and next, next, and simply next with selected role and feature. Here I'm not gonna change anything. Next, and install. So it will install those ISS role. Meanwhile, I'm going to another member server. Open the server manager. Simply going to manage, add role and features. Click next, next, next. Select web server IIS, add features, next, again next, next. Let the roles services by default as it is, next, and install. So it will take a little time to install these both roles, and let's continue after they are installed. Okay guys, so let's check both of the member server. The role has been installed. Click close here, and on another member server close as well. So that's the default thing we have to do in step 1. So let's open up the web browser. And here simply I'm going to type http host. So once your web server role is installed and you provide the IP or you type the localhost in web browser, there you see the Internet Information Services IIS default page. That's the indication that the web server has been installed and the default page is just showing up. And same is the case here. If I open up the browser, it's a second member server. and here if I type http localhost and hit enter, so I'll get the confirmation that Internet Information Services default web page. Again, I have done nothing, simply installed it and confirmed that the services are working. Okay, so that's just simply step 1 that's been completed. Now the next step is that we need to install the load balancing role on these two member servers. So again, click on manage and roles and features, next, next, again next. In features, if we scroll down, we'll see the network load balancing. That's the feature. I'll simply click it, add features, next, install. The same I'm going to do with the second member server. Add roles and features, next, next, select this server, next, next. In feature, I'm going to install the load balancing role. So there I can see network load balancer, balancing, next, add features, next, install. So it will take a while to install. Alright, so installation completed successfully on both of the servers of network load balancer. Let's close it and close this as well. Now, this is simply HTML template that I have downloaded from Google. You can search and download any free web templates if you like. So let me just copy the content of it and we'll go to default directory. See, here you can see initpub, that's the folder created when you install the web server. It's by default created. So open it, go to www root folder, select everything in it and delete it. Now, since I've copied the web template from this folder, let me paste it here. Right, same I'll do with this server. I'll copy the contents. I'll go again to C drive, initpub default folder, www root folder, select the existing content, delete it and paste from this folder. Alright, so now if I again open up the local host, I'll see a different web page. As you can see, I have downloaded the template of a free website, and similarly if I do it here as well, so you can see I got two web pages, the one I downloaded from website. So now what I need to do, I'll just change one default page, go to view, file name and extensions. So that's the index web page. Click it and open it with Notepad. I'll just write here between the HTML and head, I'll just type this is site 1 and save it, close it. Do the same on the other member server. Open it with WordPad, sorry. Okay, here I'll select the Notepad and between the HTML tag and above the head tag, I'll just paste it as a site 2 and save it. Now quickly open the same web page. Here I can see okay, I guess I need to edit it again. So right click. Okay, I guess I need to remove the cache. Now let's try again. Just let me quickly fix it. Right, so it's due to some caching thing, but it's working fine. If I just type HTTP and type the IP, so as you can see it's site 2, and in the same I'll do on the member server 1. I'll simply type the IP of member server, and there you can see. So we have site 1 and site 2. So that's just the step 1, in which we just simply install the IIS web server role along with the load balancer, and we just copied and pasted the custom web template from free website. As I said, you can Google it, download it, and put it in the www root folder. Delete the existing content and paste it in, just try it. So we can see the default page. Now we need to work with the load balancer. So I'll open up the server manager. Let's start with the member server 1. Go to tools and look for network load balancing manager. Click here. That's we can see on both of these member servers. If I open it, since I installed it on both of the servers, there you see it's empty. So right click on it, new cluster. You need to enter first member server, as it says that connect to one host that is the part of cluster, and select the cluster interface. So I'll put this IP. That's the IP of this member server where I'm just working right now. Put connect. As you can see, it has detected. Click next. Here you can see the priority. So in that case, since the first server, so let it be 1, but it allows you up till 32 you can add to this cluster. So since I have 2, so I'll select the first one, it goes with 1, and when I'll add the other one, it will pick up automatically the next priority which is 2. So all I need to just simply let it be. Its default state is started. It picked up the IP, and just hit next. Okay, here we need to add the cluster IP. The cluster that we just simply started, now we need to put his IP here. Any IP that is not used. So I will pick one random IP from a network. It should be unique and it's only dedicated for this cluster, so I will select the 250. That's my subnet mask, and that's the free IP I have selected. Click OK. There you go. Click next. Here we need to give it some name. So when we'll access our website, it will show up like that. So in my case, I'll give it any name. My server. Okay, I'll give it my site name. You can give it any name. And then in cluster operation mode, you have unicast. It requires 2 network cards. Then we have a multicast. In most cases, we use the multicast, and then we have a IGMP multicast. So remember that in network, when you select these options, you need to select or need to configure something on your switches as well, so it's supported. So right now I'll select multicast. It works with one network card, which I have right now. So I'll select the multicast. I just give it a name. Next. Okay, here we need to define the rule. So that's the default rule. If I edit it, I can see the port ranges from 0 to 65,535. So since it's a web base, so I'll select 80. And since I don't have any certificate right now, SSL, so I'll select 80 to 80. The same ring, the protocol, let it be both selected. Now in filtering mode, we have multi-host, okay, but in Affinity, we have none, single, and network. In case of single, if I selected single, so once the load balancing set up, when we try to access the website over it, so we will always see the first website if we let it single. But if we select Affinity to none, then it will pick up random website and it will load balance automatically. In case of single, you must have to, in order to check, you must you have to down your one cluster node. But for the none, it will randomly select. So I'll go with the random and let these options be like that as it is. Click OK and click finish. So it'll take a little time to come up green. Just wait. Okay, so it appeared green. Now I can add the second member server to this cluster as well. So we can do it from both servers, but let it be on the member server 1. So I'll right click on this my site and I'll add host to cluster. Here I need to add the second member server. In start I've added this member server by itself, and now I'm adding another host that is a second member server. So they both are hosting a website. I'll put its IP. That's the IP of the second member server. Click connect. Here we can see. Click next. Alright, click next. As you can see previously, the priority has been picked up like I explained in the start. The first priority is for the first when we make cluster, and when we add host, it will automatically add the number in incremental form. So first one was 1. This one it is picked by itself as a 2, and rest everything is same. Default state is started. Okay, next. And here from the first, when we started this cluster, we edited the whole and it picked up as it's inherited from the top. And there you can see 8080, both multiple. So we'll finish and give it some time. Okay, so they both appear green, means they are started and they are working. But one thing is important right now. If I type this address from the client side, so for client I'll just quickly make one user so I can log in. I'll make 2 users. Right click, user, and I'll type user 1. Okay, so two users edit. Let's log in with these users. These are domain joined computers. So user 1. As you can see, my domain name. And on this client 2, I'll log in with the user 2. It'll take little time. Okay, here I'll type the cluster IP. So it has picked up the site from the cluster IP. That's not the IP of any of the member server, but it's a virtual IP, the cluster IP. And the same, if I try on this other domain join client, if I type HTTP, since we are using the port 80, we don't have any certificate. So let me put the IP of cluster. So here you can see, because of that affinity that I've set to 0 from the same IP, if you look at the IP is same for both clients, but he's picking the site 1. This client is picking the site 2 randomly. But if we want to access it by host name, so what we need to do on a DNS, I'll make a record, new host name, I'll give it my site, so that's my domain name and that's my website name. So I'll give the IP of cluster, and I'll create the associate pointer record as well. Add host, done. Now I'll add another. So I'll give it www my site, and here I'll put the same cluster IP. So we're good to go now. Let me type here, instead of IP, I'll type the cluster name, my site and my domain name. Hit enter. There you can see I've accessed the site too. Same. Here I'll put the HTTP and then my www my site, and then followed by my domain name. Hit enter. So you can see it's load balancing on client 1. After putting the name, you can see it's site 2. Since we put these little site 1 and site 2 to identify which website it's opening. So here it's site 1, here it's site 2, and it's working fine. You can see. So it's balancing, like sometime it will show up site 1 and sometime it will show up site 2. So right now it's on site 2, What I will do right now, let's click on the cluster name, and here we can see the IPs of both member server. So right now it's on site 2, which is hosted on RDS1. So what I'll do, I'll right click here, I'll go to host. Okay, I'll select the host first, right click, go to host, control host, and click stop. So I've just stopped this server which is hosting the same website with the name site2. So now when I will refresh it, it will redirect my web page to the site 1. Since I have shut it down, as you can see, it's done. Here you can see the message, stop operation success, host is stopped, right? So let's refresh it, and it will show the same page with the site 1 name now, because site 2 is shut down now. It will take a little time to load. Same here, let's refresh it. So initially it's opening the website randomly, load balancing it, but now I have specifically shut down this host site 2, so it should open up the site 1 now. And here we go, this page has been refreshed from site 2 to site 1. No matter how many times I refresh it, it will keep me on this site 1. And here you can see as well, this page has been refreshed. If I refresh it, so it's showing the same site 1. So dear friend, that's the main objective of this lab, where we have first installed the IIS web services role on both the member server, and then we installed and configured load balancing role, and then finally we tested it, and we have seen that randomly it's opening both the website, but then when we try to specifically down one website, it was redirecting the same traffic to the site 2. So all the goals and objective of this lab is achieved. I hope you like this video, and if you like it, so kindly please do share and subscribe my channel, leave me comments so I can come up with something new video. As I always say, this is learning platform for everyone, and we are learning together. So guys, thank you for watching my video. See you again in next video.